Coming to you recorded from our studio in Broome Shakalaka Field, Colorado.
We're Betty Joe and Roy.
And this is Formula Lunch. Coming to us in 20th place, we have the first DNF of the day in Yuki Tsunoda. The young Japanese driver just not managing to finish out the race after sustaining a little bit of side pod damage early on in the race.
Yeah, it didn't look like much of a collision, but he definitely had a little hole taken out of the side. And while it doesn't look like much, you know, that's really going to...
It's a big old chomp. That's our first kick
Down in front
of the day.
And so you know, if you've been following Pond Skum Racing for a while, we're really getting on the wagon of this.
It's very important that we don't, and I mean don't, beat the living life out of this dead horse.
What are you guys doing?
Ferrari, pull it together. In 19th place, our second DNF of the day, by less than a lap, Chuck Leclerc.
Just leading the whole race. The whole thing.
I believe he had, it was a 15-second gap? Something like that?
Man.
No trouble in sight.
You guys gotta get out of your drivers' heads. You guys gotta get out of your own heads. Like, Sainz really does look like he's the only one that's paying attention to what's going on around them.
And it was a simple mistake that caused Leclerc to just lose a little bit of traction, spin out, and smack into the wall. On lap 17, I believe?
Yeah,
Still pretty early on in the race. Still pretty early on. It's a shame, but that's what happens when you're Ferrari's golden boy.
Yeah. It's a sad day. In 18th, we have K-Mag. Another DNF. Yeah.
He had such a good weekend, though.
The Haas have been performing. And
made it up to P6 in Q3.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then he got the... I don't know. He
made it up to 12
him
after
and
starting
Schumacher
20th.
Yeah. They've got strong cars. They're looking good, but I think it's really these Ferrari-controlled engines are just really slacking.
Ferrari power unit not really doing it.
Yeah.
That's okay. Somebody who isn't affected by that is Nicholas Latifi coming in 17th place.
With another DNF.
What?
Yeah, we're just...
He really is the GOAT and the greatest racer of all time.
So, with 16th place, we have Zhao. Yet another Ferrari. Can you guess what's going on? No, because it doesn't matter. Ferrari DNF. Man,
Another Ferrari power unit, yeah. Another Ferrari power unit for Zhao Guanyu going out on 16th place. Just didn't get it done. He was having a bad weekend. He was not able to pull it together. The Alfa Romano team was not doing a whole lot.
I mean, let's be real. These Ferrari engines are just not reliable, and so they're getting a lot. They're struggling everywhere. Every race, there's at least a Ferrari DNF. At almost
every race.
Yeah.
Almost every race.
Some more Ferrari power engine units coming in 15th place with Mick Schumacher. I think he was running. I'm pretty sure he was running.
I am sad to not see him get his 3 points in a row. Three points, 3 races. I am sad to not see that. It was nice to see him as driver of the day in Austria, and just didn't quite have the pace this weekend.
It happens. Again, Ferrari, because with that, we have Bottas in 14th. What else is there to say? I mean, like, we know he's a strong driver.
3, 4. It seems that 4 of the bottom,
6? Yeah.
Are all Ferrari power units.
1 Mercedes, 1 Red Bull.
That can't be good. Spaghetti Bosa.
We know he's a good racer. We know what he can do with that car.
We know he can take that Alfa Romano car and put it right up behind Lewis Hamilton. Just not getting it done with that Ferrari power unit. Alexander Albon coming out in 13th place. Not one of his better weekends with the Williams car.
No, but he's keeping it on the track.
He's still keeping it on the track, and he's still keeping it ahead of Nicholas Latifi. Granted,
Shocker.
that can't be that hard. I'm pretty sure my 86-year-old grandmother could keep her Formula One car ahead of Nicholas Latifi. Was that a police car that just drove past the window?
I'm assuming an ambulance. Who didn't need an ambulance this weekend was Pierre Gasly, who performed a pretty good weekend, had his family there.
He had a terrible home race.
Yeah.
He had a terrible home race. He managed to keep it on the track-ish, but he just did not have a good home race. His pace was slow the entire weekend, really bringing shame upon the French name.
In front of your family.
In front of your family.
Your parents were at the race.
Were at the race, and they were very, very loud and big.
Someone's parents that weren't at the race were that in 11th place with Sebastian Vettel.
I'm pretty sure his parents are dead.
Really?
I don't know. He's pretty old.
That joke. Cut that.
Cut that. He did come in 11th place, though, just outside of the points.
Yeah, but the one that did finish in the points is our golden pony boy of Lance Stroll.
Oh, he will bring us to Savior. He is our Savior. He will bring us.
Next world champion.
It was neat to see. This was the 100th year anniversary of Aston Martin as a company. And to celebrate, they did let Sebastian Vettel drive the 1922 Grand Prix car. I believe they called it the Green P. And he drove that around for a couple of laps. That was neat. That was a nice little car to see. Not very quick, but still might have been faster than Aston Martin's current F1 car. Daniel Ricciardo coming out in 9th place. A very impressive weekend for him. The McLarens held a lot of power, and he managed to hold his own.
Which is good. I mean, he's been slacking the past two months. He's not been anywhere.
He's been slacking enough to bring about rumors.
Yeah.
And that's not good for Daniel Ricciardo. See, that's not good. Everyone loves that smiling face, but if he can't put his foot to the gas.
Gas was on for Ocon, though.
Another home racer.
8th place. Points. Great job.
He got through it. He had some good battles throughout the entire race, too. Everyone wanted a piece of Esteban Ocon this weekend.
Yeah, he really wanted it.
Yeah, he did prove himself to be the strongest French driver on the grid at his home Grand Prix, regardless of the fact that his section in the grandstand was a little bit smaller than Sir Pedro Gaceso. It was just a little bit smaller. Speaking of small, Lando Norris coming out in 7th place. Again, a very impressive performance from the McLaren. Didn't quite have the legs to make it through the race. He had a pretty decent qualifying position and managed to make up some good positions really early on.
And it's a good performance gain. Maybe they can keep it up. Let's see what they can do next week with it. If they can stay in this, maybe they have a real fight at getting, the 3rd or 4th, or 4th, I would say.
Yeah.
Being where they want to be.
I don't think seeing a McLaren on the podium would be an impossibility this year, which I was starting to feel for quite a while. And hopefully Lando Norris can get up there. And you know what they say, between him and Max Verstappen, they have 27 wins to their name.
Someone looking for another podium as well. Is that a fat Alonso?
Still up there in his game. Still at the top of his game for a man his age.
Yeah, he's looking good. I mean, you can't complain about that. Especially getting hit by a car, last year? He's looking good, man. He's doing all that he can. Those Alpines, they might... Again, maybe they also have a performance there. They've been fighting in those points.
Safnauer is doing some good work this year.
Yeah.
He's doing some good work. Those Alpines are consistently gaining pace and gaining just overall race pace throughout the entire season. They have been up there in a place we did not expect them to be.
And starting in 19th, being up there, we get Carlos Sainz.
I hit myself in the face. Carlos Sainz,
who wasn't on fire this weekend, put on a fire performance. Spectacular. Starting in 19th place, he made... Again, like I said earlier, he's the only one paying attention. How are you going to tell the man to box as he's passing for 3rd, 4th place? What are you doing? Your engineer, you need to be watching this.
Well, never forget they did tell him at first, do not box. After receiving a 5-second penalty, they were telling him not to box because they thought maybe we can make these tires last. It wasn't until he's in a neck-and-neck battle with Sergio Checo Perez, passing the pit lane as they're passing each other, that they decided to ask him to box. You're right, he might be the only one paying attention to the race. Matteo Bernardo, man.
Yeah, you need to get your stuff together. Don't shake your finger at Leclerc. Shake your finger at yourself. Look how you're running this team right now. You got such a strong car. Disappointed in you, Ferrari. I'm really disappointed in you.
It really is disappointing. You may have gotten rid of the Harry Potter glasses, but you exchanged it for a clown's nose.
Perez, though, looking great. I mean, actually, honestly, he didn't look great.
It wasn't his strongest race.
He didn't look great.
It was not Checo's strongest race.
And that's all I'm going to say on that, because you know who stole this position? George Russell.
Georgia Reed Russell coming in P3.
I don't even care. Like, that steal at the end on him off that virtual safety car start, incredible. I understand maybe Perez sparked up all up and slid. Good job, Russell. Proud of you.
It was using the safety car, the virtual safety car, to his benefit, which is definitely a bit of a shady tactic. To slow down and then try and accelerate at the right time. Did it look like he got an early jump? A little bit. But from what we can see from the cameras, it was just perfectly timed.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes that's how it goes.
And you know who you probably learned it from? Mr. Lewis Hamilton, second place, first time.
Pork on the podium.
It's crazy. Never seen it?
Pork on the podium.
May never see it again.
It's amazing. He's gotten on the podium 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
This new racer is exciting. I wonder what we will see from Lewis Hamilton.
Hopefully his future holds a lot in his career.
Yeah. And maybe he should change his number to 8. Max E. Million Verstappen taking the win for the year, for the race. He didn't have much battles to do. He did have a little interchange with Leclerc for a bit, and then Leclerc drove off.
And then crashed.
And crashed into the wall.
And then when Leclerc crashed, those Verstappen.
Nobody had an easier race than Max E. Million Verstappen. This Sid the Sloth kid really did bring his car back home. And there's a reason why he's in the lead of the championship standings right now. He has been working consistently. He has been having solid races.
Yeah.
Just getting down to the bare
No, he's definitely looking like a good driver this year. He's maybe going to win a championship.
Maybe this one won't be a human error. Coming to you recorded from Broom Shakalaka Field, Colorado.
More Betty Jo and Roy.
And this has been
Walter.
Formula Lunch. Walter Cronkite. There it is.
This was the Paul Richard GP Grand Prix
In Le Castellet.
the Castellite.
Le Castellite. Allez. Ha ha. Oui oui. Ha ha. Silly
I
American.
really think we should.
When the canister is low, you must whip it. Now whip it into shape. It's not too late. Whip it. Whip it good.